What is up, YouTube? It has been a while. Probably been over a year now since I last posted a YouTube video. I've been really busy with my short form content on Instagram, TikTok, even YouTube Shorts. I encourage you to go follow me over there. I have daily posts that I make if you want to see more of my content on the regular and just my lifestyle, what I've been up to. In general, life has been pretty crazy in this last year. I had ACL surgery. I've been rehabbed. I had a leadership program that I did all while I was in a cast, which took about 4 months to do. Had to travel back and forth doing that. Hosted my first men's retreat this year, actually, back in February, which was incredible. I probably will post some content of that here in the future. I'm moving in a couple days, so by the time you're seeing this, I'll probably already be moved out. Just doing a little bit of nomading, traveling around, working on my business and living in different spaces and places. So there's a lot, man. There's a lot that's changed, and a lot that I can fill you in on. Obviously, it would take a lot more videos, but I want to talk about something that has been coming up for me recently, which is the reason I even am making a video now. By now, you've read the title. I don't know what I've titled it exactly. Probably self-improvement is a scam, self-improvement is a lie, something along those lines, right? It's pretty layered. So let's dive into it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't self-improve. I'd never would say that. Obviously, I've been into self-improvement. For the last 7 years, I've been working on myself in every single element: physical, mental, emotional, very recently spiritual. So it's a cornerstone of my life. It's one of the most highest values that I have. So why would I say it's a lie? Why would I say don't self-improve? What I'm learning is what you do in life is not as important as why you're doing it. Great book to read out there, Simon Sinek, Just Start With Why. It's aligned with what I'm talking about here. But sometimes our intentions speak for us without us even having to say a word. The reason I started self-improvement, for example, it was born through the thought process of not feeling good enough, not feeling like manly enough or masculine enough, like I had something to prove. So I made this image, right? The sophisticated man. The whole reason I even picked that name was because I wanted people to see me a certain way. Yeah, he's the cool, confident, grounded, masculine guy that was giving advice to men, helping guys create a relationship, helping guys find their purpose. And it was always because, not that I was doing it from a place of service, but I was doing it from a place of lack. I felt like I wasn't being perceived a certain way. So my whole intention was, well, let me create a brand. Let me create an image so people can see me this way. And that's how I approached self-improvement. I thought something was wrong with me. For probably the first 6 years of my journey, I wanted to add things to my life. I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to change because deep down I had a belief that I wasn't good enough on my own. So I had to posture. I had to perform. I had to be somebody that wasn't authentically myself. And you'll find that the further you go down the self-improvement rabbit hole, it's not as much about adding things to your life as it is about remembering who you actually are before the world told you who you were. You know, you think about a child, like inner child stuff has been a massive, massive benefit to my journey and something I work extensively with my clients. You think of a kid. Does a kid get anxiety? Does a child have doubts? Does a child have judgments about itself, preconceived notions, negative connotations, assumptions? No. When we are children, we are our most free. That's why it's always really important to just observe children. How do they act? They don't care. They're carefree. They have nothing to stress them out. They're just always living in the moment, always living in the present. And I find that once we really do the work that matters in self-improvement, like the deep kind of work, the inner work, it all revolves back to finding ourselves again and remembering who God made us to be, the kind of man that God planned for us to become. We just forgot somewhere along the way because of societal conditioning, because of upbringing, because of influences that were outside of our control that made us doubt our own abilities or made us question ourselves, or we compared ourselves to someone else because we deep down believed that we weren't good enough just being ourselves. So that's really what I have learned in this last year, and I'm still learning. I'm not perfect at this. Again, anything I say, I am my own student as well. I am my own client. I am my first client before anyone else is. I'm still learning all of this too. But what I have learned about self-improvement and about growth and purpose and all of these things is that you really just have to learn how to get out of your own way. We get in our own way. We doubt. We have things come up. We question ourselves. We try to project a specific kind of image because we think then that'll give us respect. Then that'll give us love. Then that'll give us significance in some way. That'll give us value. But it's all a lie. And that's what I mean when I say self-improvement is a lie. You think you need to add these things to your life. You think you need to twist and change and manipulate and become this new person, but that's all an illusion. The person you're becoming is the person that you were meant to be all along. The person that you forgot about because you were deceived. Because somebody told you maybe when you were younger that you looked funny, or you sounded weird, or you couldn't sit with the cool kids, or your parents weren't around, your father maybe wasn't around. He didn't show you this. He didn't teach you how to be confident in yourself. He didn't teach you any skills that were worthwhile for you to build a business or a life that you can create for yourself. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. And what I'm really practicing now is giving myself more grace, giving myself more forgiveness for the things that I did wrong, or in my eyes, I didn't work up to my own standards that I set for myself. It all comes down to who we believe we are. Our identity. The identity that we believe. The world will always reflect the identity that we hold. All the choices that you've made, or all the choices you failed to make in your life right now, is a reflection of the identity that you hold to be true about yourself. Who you believe you are is correct. And that is extremely fluid. Who you believe yourself to be is correct. But there's always that identity that is really you. The authentic you. The genuine you. The you that is going to create the life that you've always wanted and always deserved. That's really why a big part of what I talk about is identity building. That has been a massive pillar for me in my life and in my clients' lives for the last year or so. Your identity is who you believe yourself to be. Your role is not to change who you are, is not to diminish the person that you are or neglect the person that you are by doing all of these extra things like cold showers, cold approaching, lifting weights, making more money. All of that is an add-on, but that doesn't define who you are as a person, as a man. Your identity comes from God, in my opinion. Now, once you have a solid identity, your lifestyle is a manifestation of that. Meaning anything you do, your habits, your career, your location, where you live, who you surround yourself with, the kind of clothes that you wear, You know, how you present yourself to the world, that is a reflection of your identity. If you have an identity that's strong and it represented a man of purpose and direction, your lifestyle is going to reflect that. And at the very end, because every guy likes to skip this step, that's where our relationships come from. It's because of our lifestyle. It's a complement of our lifestyle and a reflection, again, of our identity. Think about it, if we're attracting women, if we're attracting people, it could be business too, it could be friends, into our lives that maybe aren't good for us. Maybe they were manipulative, narcissistic, they were abusers, they lied. There's a part of your identity that was attracting them. There's a part of you that felt aligned with that kind of person. So that's what you attracted. We only get the kind of people in our lives that we already are. So if you're not liking the kinds of people, specifically women, that you're attracted to, because I'll use this in a relationship context, you got to look at yourself. Who do you believe yourself to be, and why? What created that belief in the first place? And that is a large part of what I do with my clients, is digging deep into that old identity. Where did that come from? Who made you believe that to be true? And how can we dig that identity out so you can actually create the identity, or better yet, rediscover the identity that is really you, your authentic self, the man that you were born to be, that you're going to feel the most fulfilled in, you're going to feel the most worthy in, you're going to feel the most love from. That's what I'm learning about growth, and that's what I'm learning about how important it is to really understand that our beliefs shape everything. It shapes our choices, and our choices shape our reality. So when you can change your beliefs, you change how you choose. And when you change what you choose, your outcome changes. And that's all I've really been working on in the last year, is learning to remembering who I am, what I'm meant to be, who I'm meant to be, and how I want to present myself here online, in front of my content, in front of my clients, and just in everyday life. That's why this move is such a big deal for me, because I'm giving myself the space again to more or less rediscover myself, reinvent the person that I am, and tap into my natural gifts and abilities. You're going to hear me talk a lot about authenticity on this channel, because I really believe that that's something I was born to teach, is authenticity with men and masculinity. I mean, I'm just so sick of the notion that you have to just put on this mask to be considered masculine. You have to be a specific type of guy, a specific archetype to even be considered a man. I think it's ridiculous. And I think a lot of content creators will have you believe that you need to be a specific way in order to be considered valuable or considered masculine in their eyes. There are certain principles that you follow and that I will always uphold, like protection, leadership, provision. All of these things, the basic principles, of course, are always going to be representative of masculinity, but being authentic is probably one of the most masculine things you can do. You're exhibiting bravery to a degree that most people probably never will. So I know that was kind of rambling, but I wanted to update you on a combination of updating you on where I'm at and just what I've been learning, and why it's important to really be present through all of this stuff. Because sometimes we can get in our heads and we think that we're improving ourselves because we're grinding and we're killing ourselves and we're going to the gym and reading all these books and we're doing all these things, because deep down we're not satisfied with who we are. And I think that's, in my opinion, you're working yourself upstream, and you're not actually making as much progress as you think. Yeah, maybe you make a little bit more money. Yeah, maybe you get a little bit more physically strong in the gym and you look a little bit better. Maybe you start talking to women and stuff, but at the end of the day, your real self is going to come out. And if you're not satisfied with the man that you see in the mirror, all that stuff's going to fall away. You have to make sure you do it from a good place. Not what you do, but who you are when you're doing it, why you're doing it in the first place. That's what really matters. It's all about your intention. And not forcing things. I'll talk a lot about that in future videos, but I'm really getting into the wave of not forcing anything to happen. I'm going to let things come to me, be the source of attraction, and everything that I want, everything that you want, will come to you when you can become that man who's not chasing anymore, because you have nothing to prove. So that's my spiel. You know, I didn't really know what I was going to say going into this video, but I wanted to give you my thoughts, let you know what I've been thinking about, where I've been, what I've been up to, and what's happening next. So if you rock with this, hit subscribe, consider looking at some other videos I have. I talk a lot about men finding their masculine identity, creating an authentic lifestyle that fulfills you and lights your spirit on fire, and attracts a woman that complements your life. That is your ideal partner, your future wife. So if any of those topics resonate with you, consider subscribing and sticking around. And that's all the things that I'm passionate about and can talk about it for hours and hours upon end. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, helps push out my videos some more. And if you're considering working with me, because anything here that I said seems like something that you're really in the middle of working with and you don't really know where to go, and you just want to talk to somebody, and you just want to have a conversation to someone that feels like they understand you, you feel heard, you feel seen, you feel like there's hope at the end of the tunnel, consider having a call with me. I have my link down below. I'm not going to push it in your face or anything like that, but it's there if you need it. And yeah, we'll hop on a free call and see what's getting in the way for you. But that's all for me, man. I'm happy to be back. It's honestly kind of refreshing having a YouTube video again, because I'm so used to this short form content with like 90 seconds and 60-second clips. Like, I can't formulate my full thoughts and feelings if I'm just talking for that short amount of time. So it's nice to talk here now for what seems like 15-20 minutes that I made this video. I don't even know. But that's it for me, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you gained some value from today. You took something away. I mean, if you learned a little bit about the concept that I'm introducing, I hope you start to think differently about self-improvement and you start to attack it from a different place. Your intentions begin to change, and the reason why you're improving and why you're growing is not because you're avoiding yourself, not because you're ashamed of yourself, but because you know your own strength, because you're a man who's leaning into his authenticity, because that's where your power actually lies. All right, brother. I'll catch you in the next video. See you next time.